Hello guys and welcome along to the 11th round of the RFC Division 2 Championship. We are here again in America. This time we are in the streets of Las Vegas for, as I said, the penultimate round of the RFC Division 2 Championship. Of course, 25 laps will await us this weekend with that extremely long DRS zone down in the final sector. It's going to be insane. Top speeds, that's where we will see most of our fighting. The champion of Poulet won last time round here when we raced in Division 2, and actually a champion has always won this race. As you can see, the tyre selection, the C5, C4 and C3s being available for the drivers. As usual, it will just be me in the comms box and we are ready. Of course, a championship fight is still on our hands. We're between the two McLaren drivers. That is Salu and Jeffyboy, both very close on points. I think Jeffyboy is 3 points ahead going into this round. Of course, that's after the race that we had in Texas last time out. But now, we can head over. Maybe a little bit laggy that was, but hey ho. I'm just sorting some stuff out. There we go, we got a game. Get rid of that. Get the leaderboard on. And yeah, I mean, actually, we've maybe come at a bit of an early time that it's all a little bit. Monzi. Okay, I might need to press something. It's fine. I have to press that. That's why. Okay, there we go. We got that. Okay, I didn't realize I had to press something. He's made a few little upgrades. Right, so let's get ready now to, if I can click off that, please. Right, as usual, Marley leading us out for the first lap of qualifying. A absolute staple of Division 2 over the last 2 seasons has been us watching little old Marley's lap in the Alpine. Gets so much screen time, and of course today will be no different. As I just sort everything out. I think there's a way I can press this. Save current position. Beautiful. So that now should save there all the time. Yeah, Mont has made a few upgrades to on our side of the system for the graphics. It's a lot nicer now. So can be good to test it out. And of course now we watch Marley go down this extremely long straight. Down the Vegas Strip. I will be there in October. So excited. Not for the race, just to be there to gamble. Speaking of gambling, will we see any gambles for tyre strategy today? Maybe I should have held that one out until maybe the race start, but right, cheers Cody. Thank you, mate. I don't know why I bother. Oh. Well. Here we are, Marley getting ready to start the first lap of qualifying here in Vegas. And Quinn has already left the session. I mean, what is this? I'm pretty sure Quinn was having connection issues at the start. And now has disconnected straight away. So, a bit annoying for the Red Bull driver. And they're under his new contract, I believe. New signing. As a couple other drivers start their flying laps as well. As Marley, of course, a little bit ahead of everyone today. Normally there's a couple other cars that sit closer behind and start their laps early on in the session. However, this time we got around a 20-second gap to the car behind. So we'll keep the purple sector 1 for quite a while. Not actually sure where the second sector line is here, by the way. I said in the intro about how it's in sector 3. Didn't realise it's definitely sector 2. It is sector 3 actually, this straight. Okay, fair enough. As Marley's heading down the very long straight, has a Haas car ahead. That is the Haas of Statlev. So hopefully plenty away as he pulls to the left hand side. So let Marley just have a nice clean run through. No slipstream from the Haas driver. As the other Haas driver of Jacob Atley sets a purple sector 2 there. Behind. Instant beaten sector 1 though by someone else. I'm guessing someone a little bit quicker in a quicker car. As Marley rounds through the final corner and towards the line. We'll see what the benchmark is. It's a 32.0 to start us off. And we'll now watch on with Atlee, who comes round through the final few corners and down this beautiful little end straight. No DRS down this straight, however, this is where you just burn as much of the energy as you can and take the tightest line possible and crosses the line. And he goes a tenth faster there than Marley and goes up into P2 as there's a bit of damage there. I'm not sure if it was damage or just a bollard for Riley Murphy. I think he invalidated his lap as SV crosses the line, goes up into P3. Van der Sant, sorry, crosses the line and goes up into P3. And next one across the line is actually SV, so we'll see SV now as he heads down this very long straight. The Williams, I think, is okay in a straight line, not the fastest. I think the Racing Bulls is believed to be pretty quick. Duffy left as well. Jesus Christ, any connection issues? As SV heads round the final corner and over the line. We'll see what he can do. Goes fastest of everyone. Goes to the top of the timing boards. Aidan Jones will want to follow up what his teammate done in this new role in Aston Martin. Goes P5 ahead of his teammate. So early signs that he's trying to prove something to the others. As Statlev now on a lap. His teammate currently sat in P3 as he comes round through turns, 14, 15 and 16. The tight, twisty chicane. And Statlev now rounds through the final corner and towards the line. We'll see where he can go. He gets a purple sector 3 and matches his teammate exactly. That is insane for the two Haas drivers, as Matthew is coming now to finish his lap as well. I need to invite some people, so we will just quickly take a little break. Just going to hide that so I can actually, see. So we need to invite Quinn and Duffy. Right, why did it go to the top then? I know Duffy's always near the bottom. There he is. There we go. So we get them out. Show the rows again. Quickly get to Hazy if we can. As Hazy crosses the line, literally as we do it, and goes top of the timing in the this Sauber. So insane for the Sauber. I believe the Ferrari is the most powerful engine. So it makes sense for a Sauber car to be fast. Pablos now is down the long straight, and as I said, the Ferrari power is pretty good. So we will see these Ferrari powered cars rinsing their top line, straight line speed. Sorry, not the top line speed. That is not a thing. Aidan Jones just cuts the corner behind me. I mean, that's fine, but it's so random. As Pablos heads towards the line, the first of the real heavy hitters to set a lap. He crosses the line, should go top of the time, and someone sat on the inside. Halaus is out, and I think that was him there. Pablos gets a 5-place grid penalty as well. He tops the timing, but I'm pretty sure that was Halaus on the inside of the last corner, maybe trying to get out the way, but you saw Pablos there go extremely wide and get damaged, so he definitely just absolutely slammed into Halaus. Not 100% how that's happened, to be honest. What the Aston Martin driver was thinking, as that is the end of his qualifying session. And I mean, he has set a lap up in P5, but I mean, he's not going to be able to partake in the next part of qualifying. That was insane. As now we have we have some of the bigger teams coming out now as Tsunami is on his lap. He's about half a tenth quicker than his teammate. And Jeffyboy on a lap, of course, the championship leader, trying to do something. Quinn has left again. There is only so many times I can invite. I mean, this is a little bit much. No one being able to match the first sector of... I don't actually remember who got... I don't remember who got the purple sector 1. I remember seeing it, though. As Tsunami, the race winner, of course, from Monza, didn't have the greatest time out in Texas. We want to kind of mend the wounds from that race into this one. His teammate ahead of him giving him a little bit of a slipstream, a little bit of a distant slipstream. But really doesn't help him that much. Gets out of the way quite quickly, so doesn't give him much of a slipstream. Maybe not all sunshines and rainbows down at Ferrari. As Tsunami is finishing his lap. Jeffyboy did get the purple fastest sector 2 on his lap, so he's pushing hard. as Tsunami rounds through the final corner and crosses the line 5.5 tenths quicker than his teammate. That is a great lap to set. I mean, his teammate was very much impeded on the final corner as Jeffyboy can't do anything to go against that. It's 3.5 tenths down on him. Riley Murphy is next across the line. He's just gone up into to P14, the slowest lap of anyone. Next one's going to be Shelby in the Red Bull, so we'll finally see one Red Bull start a lap, as the other one is having so many connection issues right now. And actually, while it's just Shelby on the track, we will quickly try and invite Quinn, as he's a tenth and a bit down at the moment. I can't see TUV. I thought he was around here last time. Yeah, he's not even online anymore though. Well, I guess he's not getting an invite. Oh well. As Shelby comes into the pits, bottles his lap. Not 100% sure why he's done that. As Skunker will be next across the line now. 9.5 tenths down on Tsunami so far. That'll put him around just inside the top 10. So he's fighting for a spot in the next part of qualifying. But still plenty of drivers yet to do laps. Salu improving at the moment on Tsunami's time. Green in Sector 1, green in Sector 2. So he's setting his personal best. Of course, he hasn't set a lap yet, so of course it's going to be green. But still, as Atlee's improved on his first sector as well, Tsunami believes that he's done enough. As Skunker crosses the line and then sets the slowest lap time of anyone, and down in P15 next across the line is going to be the championship chaser of Salu, as he rounds through the final corner and across the line. Can he beat his teammate? He goes up into P2 just ahead of his teammate. That's a good lap for him, as we now head to Atlee, who for some reason... Wait. Okay, I can't go on Atlee's lap. Apparently Atlee's in the pits, but he's not. Weird. There's SV is at least on a lap. Yeah, I can't watch... I'm literally pressing 9. There you go. I pressed 8 and he's come up. Okay, right. This game makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Oh, an SV hits the wall on the final couple corners, and that'll be the end to his lap there. Aiden Jones going up for another one. Right, okay, it's just going to... Because Halaus has disconnected, everyone below Halaus is 1 up. That is so annoying. Not disconnected, sorry, DNF'd. As Aiden Jones round down the long straight in the Aston Martin. I think the Aston Martin is an absolute boat down the straight. Not quick at all. And I'm sure we'll see that a lot over the course of, well, this race. As Aiden Jones comes into the pits. So he decides to back out of that lap. Right, who is on even an attempt at a lap at the moment? Salu, is he on another lap? I know he likes to do double laps. I don't think he is, just by the fact that he's kind of burning a little bit. Yeah, there you go. It's now adjusted everyone's numbers, so I've now got to keep looking at that. That's going to be a little bit annoying. I believe that Shelby is about to start his lap. As he rounds through to start. Currently has not set a lap time along with the other Red Bull. Speaking of the other Red Bull, we will just try and invite him one more time. And if he doesn't join this time, then, well, I tried. Yeah, not appearing. My chair, I need a new chair, bro. I've heard a very big crack there, and that didn't sound very good. Jesus Christ. As Shelby fastest in Sector 1. I believe he was fastest in Sector 1 on his first attempt before he then, what's it? Thanks, Cody. Thank you so much. Martin, no. Shelby comes now across the second split. He is 3 tenths faster than Tsunami. Really showing pace here for the Red Bull team, as they need something really. I mean, at the moment they've got one who's out of the session and not even trying to join back, and then there's another that's currently down in the drop zone without a lap. So definitely need something out of all of this. And then Shelby is rounding through, and Martin, bro, no. And Marley actually setting a faster lap first sector than Tsunami, as Shelby crosses the line a tenth slower than Tsunami. It's very close up at the top there, and we'll watch Marley now rounding through. I mean, currently a bit of a gap between the end of Shelby's lap and the start of Marley's. And Marley, of course, as I said, the screen time king. Set a bit of a lab. Murphy about 10.5 down on Tsunami at the moment. Marley about half a tenth up on Tsunami. It's all about the ERS down this straight. Need as much of it as possible to burn all of it down this very, very long straight, and then have enough for the rest of the session. I've just seen Andy say, "What is Eagle saying?" I feel so bad. As Murphy, purple is sector 2 as well. As Marley comes around the final corner, we'll see how he's done. And 8 tenths, yeah. All of that ERS comes in that final sector for Tsunami. As he, there we go. As Murphy now is the next, showing real pace in this Williams, but maybe using a bit too much ERS in the first 2 sectors. And here we are, as Murphy comes round the final corner for the Williams car, and he goes 8 tenths slower again. It's very similar to Marley, but such a promising first 2 sectors there for the Williams driver, that I'm sure he'll be a bit upset that he's not managed to improve by, well, get up by as much. But still, 8 tenths down, and in that fight is very good. Hazy still up in P6, to be fair. Maybe someone who I should have moved a little bit time ago, to be honest, but hey ho. As Halas is at the moment down in P11, and looking a little bit at risk of, obviously he's out, he's crashed, but is he going to take away one of the spots in the lobby in the next part of qualifying, or is someone going to manage to beat him and just steal it? Because it would be nice to have 15 cars in the next part of quality instead of 14, but hey. And Van der Sant has just started his lap, so we'll watch him as he is currently in the drop zone. His teammate at risk as well. Aston Martin need a good weekend, especially if Williams are pulling out a P8, P9. Aston Martin need to fight back. They want that P5 in the overalls. They want P5 in general. That is kind of the bare minimum for Aston Martin. And at the moment they are miles from that, especially getting absolutely owned by Williams the last few weeks. And Van der Sant will really want to get his team in for a good final 2 rounds. Want to prove that Aston Martin is the 5th fastest going into the next DLC, where they will, let's be honest, be one of the slowest cars. They'll want to have one good last showdown and prove that they can get that P5 before they end up, you know, being horrible. As now down the long straight for Van der Sant. Still, I mean, obviously at risk. I think Quinn and Duffy, I believe Duffy has a quali ban, to be honest, so he won't be doing a lap anyway. So that's one. Well, that's both Mercedes out of quali basically because of Halaus. And down the straight, Van der Sant coming through 14, 15 and 16, this twisty section. And now the fast straight towards the line. Can Van der Sant drag himself into safety? It will knock out his teammate temporarily, but he crosses the line. He goes up to P14. Is that going to be enough? I'm not 100% sure on that. Pablos is next across the line. He is 5th place at the moment. Doesn't really need to improve on this lap, but he's going to anyway. Crosses the line. He doesn't even improve, so there was no point in that at all. As Atlee next across the line, can he improve his position at all? Goes up into P8. That is a great lap. Jones goes up to P6. That's much better for the Aston Martin driver. And both I mean, he's knocked his teammate into really dangerous territory as Statlev misses the apex completely there round turn 14, and he's going to be at risk. He's currently P14. Skunker and Matthew are both on laps as well as Statlev crosses the line. How is he going to do compared to everyone else? Stays P14. He is very much at risk from this session. Skunker, Matthew and Shadow all on laps behind. Van der Saan is still the man at risk. Is he going to be able to stay in the next part? Skunker crosses the line, stays P17. Matthew goes up to P11. Skunker is out, and Shadow is the final one to start a lap. Can Statlev hold? Yes, he can, as Shadow invalidates in the final few corners, and he's out of qualifying. So Van der Saan and Skunker being the only two that actually set laps there to get knocked out, and then Shadow not being able to do a lap, and of course Quinn disconnecting from the lobby, and Duffy just having a quali ban, I believe. But Tsunami showing again his quali pace, as we've seen many times this season so far since he made that move into the Ferrari seat, with that mainly the 2 poles in Monza, and then the 2 wins as well in Monza 2 rounds ago. Yeah, very much showing pace in qualifying. Must remember that Pablos has a 5-place grid penalty for that collision with Halaus. I'm sure it'll be seen after the race. Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy? Let's have a little check of the chats, make sure we're all okay. I've just seen that Mons messaged me telling me what to do because of at the start of the session when we had the issues. Let's ask Quinn if he's joining back. I wonder who's going to be first out as we start the second part of qualifying. And we'll wait for the first driver to make a move out. I wonder who it's going to be. Marley here comes out. Going to get beaten by the Williams. Gets beaten by the Williams as SV goes ahead to start us around for a little bit. I'm sure that Marley will get past. This always happens. You see someone go ahead, and then Marley just legs it and tries to get out ahead. It's very entertaining. So Marley racing SV down the straight, round the outside, gets squeezed into the wall and causes contact. Both of them are probably going to get 5 seconds for 5 places for that. Somehow not got anything. Marley's probably got damage. So after all of that, it's probably not worth it for Marley. But hey ho, they didn't get 5 places, so it's not too bad. As yeah, a little bit of a rush out of the pits with yeah, most of the drivers trying to get an early lap under their belt. That for some reason that bollard looked huge. Just very strange. Yeah, SB, I'm pretty sure he was trying to get past to start his lap first, but well. We're going to get Jeffyboy do a lap quite early on in the session. That's going to be interesting. That's a proper benchmark. As SV is rounding to get ready to start his first lap of this qualifying session. Of course, there'll be a variety of different tyre, tyres that people are going to be going for, mainly between used and new. As SV rounds through turn 1. Nice and cleanly, maybe losing the rear a little bit there. Yeah, heavily losing the rear mid-corner, and that's pretty much going to be the end of his lap. He's going to maybe continue, though, to see if he can, just get a banker lap, to be honest. Will be good enough for him. As, yep, spins round fully, and, yeah, that was expected. Yeah, SV ruins the first sector and his lap is over. So, Marley now getting the first lap. Jeffyboy sitting around 3 seconds behind at the moment. So, it's maybe going to get a little bit of a slipstream. Jeffyboy actually then gets invalid round the next part of the corner. So, he has got to go again. Would have had a nice slipstream from Marley, I reckon, if he had done this, started this lap. Shelby again showing great pace, especially in that first sector. As yeah, it's looking good for the Red Bull driver. Tsunami's on a lap as well, of course. And we'll see Marley set the kind of benchmark for everyone else. And we'll see what kind of lap time he can do in the Alpine. Been very consistent over the course of the 2 seasons, to be honest. Been very, very consistently within the mid-pack. And we'll see where he can go now as he crosses the line, takes that short line, goes up into the top of the timing. We're going to see Shelby cross the line next in the Red Bull, and he goes 4 tenths clear, I believe, or 5 tenths clear, sorry, of Marley, who then gets beaten by, oh my god, sorry, we're trying to watch. Hazy crosses the line, goes up into P3. Now next up is Salu, who is, of course, chasing his teammate for the championship, who I believe is actually on a lap, if I'm not mistaken. So we will put Jeffyboy on there. Salu crosses the line. Can he take pole? Yes, he can. He takes top of the session. Jones there goes up into P5. Next up is Statlev, who is he's rounding through this twisty chicane. And now straight fight towards the line. And we'll see where he can drag the Haas car as he crosses the line, goes up into P5 just behind the the Sauber of Hazy. You'd think he was in a Mercedes, the fact that he's up there. Jeffyboy not improving on that first sector, but improving in the seconds. Kind of helps that he was he did invalidate, so yeah. As Murphy will be crossing the line now, and he goes up into P6. That is a good lap for the Williams, and again going faster than the Aston Martin, who seem to be really struggling around here, as I thought they would, as Jeffyboy comes into the pits. So he won't be improving, won't be getting a lap, should I say. Maybe, hopefully for him, on used tyres for that first run. As you now got Pablos and Lennon both on laps at the moment, as Pablos is rounding across the line, and we'll see where he can go. He goes up into P2, half a tenth slower than Salu, but it's very close up at the top. And the next car to cross the line is going to be the pink Racing Bulls of Lennon, who maybe has a little bit of a slipstream from the Haas ahead. We'll see it's very distant, so probably won't affect too much here. But Lennon doing one race for Aston Martin, getting a P5, I believe it was in the end, and then getting sacked. So very random for the Aston Martin team. Really does show the disorganisation of that team, as Racing Bulls have snapped him up. He crosses the line and he goes P4 fastest in that final sector. And I mean, that pretty much all comes down to the ERS you use down that straight. As now Attlee is going to be the next to cross the line, and he's he's not even he's in the second sector still, so we have plenty of time to watch on with the Haas driver. He's got a Ferrari ahead of him, maybe a little bit of slipstream for the Ferrari. Nah, they get out the way straight away. Don't want to give them any help. His teammate's currently up in P7, so he'll be aiming to try and be around that point. Attlee in the very Americanized Haas, of course, for this American Grand Prix, the second home race for the Haas team. I mean, very, very strange to have two on the bounce, but whatever. As Attlee goes just ahead of his teammate and up into P7 there. That's very, very good for the team, as SV is on his lap at the moment, coming through the second sector. I think someone might be on another lap. They might be doing a double. I'm not sure who though. I'm trying to look and be like, Lennon probably isn't, Atlee isn't, because he just did. So yeah, we haven't got any doubles. That's good. It's the one thing this this timer thing does. Is SV down the very long straight. It's going to feel torturous for some of the slower drivers. Definitely everyone should be running 0 on the rear wing if you want any chance down that straight. As SV sets up to finish his lap, gets as close to the wall as possible and goes up into P5. It's very, very close. This whole grid is, I mean, the top 10 separated by 7/10. Everyone who's done a lap separated by less than a second. I'm sure we'll see that gap close as the session goes on. However, we also might see the top guys just clear off a little bit as Jeffyboy sets a purple sector 1. Definitely now on those new tyres, a 10.5 faster than his teammate. And will want to start quali in pole position. Nice. Will want to start the race in pole position to get the jump on his teammate and get the most advantage that he can to try and extend his championship lead. He has a chance to win it today, but I believe that it does need a lot. It needs I mean, if Jeffyboy wins, Salu has to get, I think, P9 for Jeffyboy to win. So it's very unlikely that we will see the champion crowned in this race, but Salu will definitely want to take this to the final round and give himself the opportunity to win. As Jeffyboy is looking pretty good so far on this lap. He's looking faster than Salu at the moment. He was faster in both the sectors. Surely this is going to be a purple lap as he crosses the line. Is he going to beat him? Yes, 2 attempts clear, and that is the advantage that he needed over his teammate as Matthew is next across the line in the Alpine. And we'll see where he... SV, you didn't retire on track, did you? As Matthew there, bottom of the timing. SV, I mean, he's coming into the pit, so I don't think he did, but it was weird. But at the moment, Jeffyboy looking in a good position. However, did just set a lap on those new tyres, so it's not too much to think about. So we've now got about just under 5 minutes left of the session remaining. We'll start to see some other drivers come out for their final runs. And, yeah, I mean, we won't be seeing Salu. He's going to save some tyres. And we'll cut to Shelby, who is in the white Red Bull. Of course, his teammate knocked out of Q1 due to not setting a lap. His teammate also out of the lobby and completely disconnected at the moment, and I have tried to contact him. We'll check again to see if I have any kind of notey, but I don't. So yeah, I got a feeling that we will not be seeing the second Red Bull, and we will be seeing a DSQ from the Red Bull. So yeah, Red Bull, I mean, I guess they just don't care. Halaos got crashed into, well, we parked on the apex and then yeah, had a contact and died basically, and he made it into the next part of qualifying. Yeah, unfortunate for the Mercedes. Both drivers out in Q1. Well, technically not out in Q1, but it depends how you look at it. I mean, one DNF'd and one had a quali ban. So yeah, starting from the back, Mercedes will want to come back through the field. I mean, they're not fighting for any title or anything. At the moment, no one really does Div 2 comms. It's just me. Charlotte was busy with W1 a couple times, and now I think she's just busy today, so she didn't want to join me. I understand, it's fine. It just means that I don't have to hear about her and Williams. Ugh. And I can hate watch Williams. She can't say anything. It's great. Yeah, I hate her. Shelby, 10th down on Jeffyboy at the moment. We'll see if that improves over the lap. He's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him. We want that to get out the way as quick as possible. think that's the Williams. Yeah, the Williams of maybe SV, I think it was. Yeah, just staying out the way there. Beautifully done by the Williams. So he won't get slipstream down the straight, sadly, but he will try his hardest to get as much straight line speed from that Red Bull as possible. He's matched Jeffyboy through the first 2 sectors, so now it's all about this final sector. We want to burn as every little bit of the ERS possible as we head down the straight, not tucking into the slipstream of the Sauber that was ahead. So just relying on his straight line speed, 212 miles an hour down the straight. And we'll now come through this very twisty section of track and towards the straight line. Nice, the start-finish line. I'll get there in the end, guys, don't worry. As he crosses the line, and he's about a 10th down on Jeffyboy ahead, but he goes up into P2. Aiden Jones is going to lead us round for the final laps. We have around 1:20 left, and everyone is starting to set their final laps. Everyone else on track, bar Lennon, Tsunami. Well, sorry, not everyone's out on track then. Both McLarens, both Ferraris, and Lennon deciding not to do a second run. Lennon believing that his lap was good enough, which, to be honest, is a good lap, so he could be right here. And Aiden currently in the drop zone. Of course, only 4 get relegated from this session. Relegated? What? 4 get knocked out of this session due to the fact that Halaus crashed out. So it's going to be, at the moment, it's looking like it's really between those 2 Alpines to try and salvage something from their quali. Aiden Jones not setting the world alight at the moment. Hazy doing very well with 3 attempts down on Jeffyboy through towards the second sector. Rest will be about 4. So it's going to be close between those 2. However, they're a bit higher on the field than we'd be expecting. I think Lennon made the right choice in retiring, because I believe he doesn't need to do a lap. I think he is safe, but it's still going to be close between everyone else. Matthew gets an invalid lap, so he will not improve. He stays last nice in the grid. As Jones crosses the line, goes up into P8. Can Hazy say anything just to save him as well? He goes up to P5. SV now across the line. He stays P8. And Atlee will be next across the line in the Haas. And current driver at risk. Murphy and Statlev on laps behind as well, though, as Atlee comes across the line. Where is he going to go up to? He goes up to P9, so Aiden Jones is now at risk. Murphy goes up to P11. He can't get out of qualifying. Now it's time for Statlev, his teammate, just getting up into P9. Can he follow suit and get through into the final part of qualifying? Can we see both Hasses in that quali session? And there is potential here as Statlev crosses the line. Where does he go? He goes up into P4. That is a mega lap for Statlev. Insane lap for the driver. And Aiden Jones is now out. And now Atlee is at risk from Marley. Oh, sorry. As it is incredibly close. And I said about Lennon, he's still P8. It is very, very close in this quali session. As Marley is the only person that can get through into the next part of qualifying. Needs a massive amount of time gain on this lap. Crosses the line. Where does he go? Up to P11 and misses out by just around 1/10 of a second. And that is both Alpines, Aiden Jones and Riley Murphy, out of qualifying. And wow, the top 10 separated by 4.5 tenths. Both Hasses into the next part of qualifying. Statlev looking great at the moment, ahead of the 2 Ferraris as well. And Hazy looking very quick in that Sauber. And I think there's a common theme going on here with the Ferrari-powered cars. As you see Statlev, Pablos, Hazy, Tsunami and Atlee all into the final part of qualifying. Aiden was getting out the way of people, but no one's on a lap. So he was just like, yeah, doing it for no reason. But once he crosses the line, we'll get ready for the final showdown of qualifying. Nice one. What do I even talk about? Thank you, Aiden, for taking the time. Yep, Aiden, this is why I moved him down. People were like, how is Aiden in Div 2? How is Aiden in Div 2? Just got P12. Granted, 5 attempts away from top, and he's out. But yeah. Very, very close session here. as we look forward to. This is very similar to what was that race? It was in Div 3, I believe, in Belgium, where there was a lot of the quicker teams were out of the final part of quali, and you ended up with like the top two as normal teams, and the rest was just like fodder teams. Like you had Williams, your Saubers and stuff, and your Hasses. Seems very similar to that today, so we might be seeing, yeah. Martin, are you racing next season? I thought Martin was going to become CEO again. Oh, okay. Well, and it's Andy's lucky day, I guess, if you don't race. As SB will lead as well. Slow mode's still on. Okay. Sorry, I know that I know James put it on. We don't need slow mode. But SV taking us round the track first. He's got Shelby right behind him. To yeah, they will lead us away and do the first 2 laps. Thanks, Josh Duffy, for finally joining. Yeah, James does so much admin abusing. I think we need to get rid of him. Get him gone. As the Ferraris looked so good in the first part of qualifying, and as we've continued on, it seems to be that that second part of quali, they didn't really look like they had the pace. SV just absolutely drifted into that. There's new lap timer changes. I didn't see them. Oh, it's the red, I'm guessing. Just the fact that they have a little bit of red around the... yeah, okay, I think that's it. Mons just makes me graphics. I demand him. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Wasn't even what I thought. Great. Anything before gaps, I guess. As SV rounds through the final corner to start the final lap. And here we go. Final lap. Nice. Final part of qualifying is what I meant. You know, we'll get words out eventually, guys. Don't worry. As the Haas lucky there to not impede SV as he comes out the pits. Has got that Red Bull behind him though, so we'll need to kind of get out of the way as quick as possible. As you've got a lot of the faster cars setting laps very early on with the, well, I mean early on in the pecking order. As I think Jeffyboy is going to be one of the last ones to start his lap. No, sorry. Never mind. No, there's people that have come out later. I'm actually just waffling, guys. I mean, I'm doing a James. Just getting everything wrong. It's fine. SV. Pretty decent first sector, really, compared to what we've seen in the other 2 sessions so far. I mean, we're just watching him because he's the first to do a lap. Not great through there. Hits his rear wheel as well. And that's pretty much his lap over. He might continue on just to get a banker lap. But, yeah, overall, that lap is over. Shelby will be the real first one to actually set a respectable lap time. Maybe the contact didn't slow SV as much as I'm saying, but it definitely seemed like it did. So as the Racing Bulls gets out the way of the Williams driver. Very respectful. As SV comes down and towards the line, we'll see what kind of lap time he can do. I think it's going to be a slow one. Yes, he crosses the line. It's a 32.5. I mean, we haven't seen 32 since like the start of Q1, mate. So yeah, that is slow. Shelby crosses the line at 32.0. Okay, I'm actually just lying. I'm never right. Salu goes a second faster, and Davey is on an insane lap as he tops the timing board by 7:10. That is insane for the Ferrari. Pablos goes up into P2, still very far behind. As Hazy next across the line, he goes up into P4. Jeffyboy will be next across the line in the McLaren, but what a lap from Tsunami. An absolutely insane lap as Salu beat Shelby by a second. So I think Shelby was on used tyres or something, because a 32.0 did seem rather slow when I saw it. And Jeffyboy What can he do? I mean, it's going to take a lot to overthrow that time from Tsunami. Yeah, clearly. I mean, yeah. We were looking at around the 31s, and now, yeah, Jeffyboy goes up into P4. Yeah, Tsunami. Insane lap for him. It's kind of come out of nowhere, to be honest. As Lennon is on a lap as well in the racing balls, the two passes on a lap. However, I think that's Statlev that is really in a bit of a bind there. He saw a Williams, I think that was sideways, and yeah, I think just reset to track as well. However, I'm sure proof. So yep, as Lennon comes across the line, we'll see where he goes. He goes up into P3. He's been showing great pace so far, 4,000 slower than Pablos. Oh, sorry. As Atlee, I believe, comes into the pits. I don't even know. Is he out? Must have crashed. SV is also doing something. I don't know what SV's doing. The timer just came up. As Statlev crosses the line. Atlee crashed. Yeah, damn. So Atlee is out of this part of quali. So he will not be setting another lap. Well, won't be setting a lap at all. As his teammate goes P7. Yeah. Well, so advantage Ferrari at the start of this session. I mean, P1, P2 for the Scuderia, and I mean, they've been looking okay over the course of the session, but like overall, just yeah. Yeah, I mean, if Atlee didn't crash in quali, he might be elite. Anyone want to serve the McLaren at all? No? Right, but yeah, I mean, that is your first kind of inkling of what to expect from the final laps. I mean, it was so close in that first part of, in that second part of quali, with, I mean, what was it, 4 attempts covering the top 10, and we come into this part, and now we've got 6 attempts covering the first 2. So, yeah, I mean, a bit of an insane difference in speed of what's happened. I'm guessing Tsunami just kind of put on some new rubber and just did a good lap. But yeah, very insane to think about. Salu is going out for his classic little, like, does one lap and then tries to do another, and I'm pretty sure most of the time doesn't really improve on that second lap. Not really 100%, but needs something from this race compared to his teammate. As if we have a look, there you are, second place in the championship at the moment with 170 points. His teammate's on 173, so needs to beat his teammate really to kind of sway it in his favour. I mean, a win and a P2 here, and that's your 7 points really. So you become clear by 4. So it's going to be yeah. Yeah, Lennon following Aiden Harrison's inspiration. Yeah, that's crazy. I was inspired by Aiden's performance, to be fair. Hope he hears that one day. But here we are, Salu getting ready to start what could possibly be his final lap of qualifying, as he's currently ahead of his teammate, currently very far behind Tsunami. I mean, Tsunami's first lap, insane. But yeah, we'll see how it compares to the rest of the field. And yeah, Salu, see how the first sector compares. I think he normally tries to do 2 runs as well, so we might see him again. He's matched, I mean, already he's about, a 10th down already on Tsunami in that first sector. So maybe not looking as quick as he usually does in these sessions. But I mean, yeah, the McLarens did win in Div 3 and they won last season, so the McLaren has a good track record here. Just need to, put the lap together and try and compete with Tsunami. There's Salu, 2.5 attempts down already on Tsunami in the first 2 sectors, and this straight has been where the Ferrari has been the most dominant. So, I mean, it's really difficult to see what is the difference between, you know, what Tsunami's doing and what Salu's doing here. But yeah, Salu looking so much slower compared to the Ferrari. I mean, it's going to be quicker than Pablos if he can fit this final sector together. We'll see where he comes across the line as he comes towards it. It's so far behind, 6.5 attempts down. He goes up into P2, but yeah, I mean, Tsunami has just done that insane lap, and it's kind of over really for everyone else. I don't think anyone will come close. But yeah, I mean, yeah, very strange to see such a big gap in quali after how close it was. So it kind of ruins how I was really hyped, you know, for the end of quali. I thought, you know, this is going to be an insane little fight for pole position, but sadly that is not meant to be. As who's this? Sorry, Shelby starts his final lap of qualifying. He hasn't got enough time for another one after this. I think even if it invalidates, he would need pretty much a fast lap to get back down across the line. So this is the last lap we will see from everybody here. There's a big clump of cars, if you see, in the end of Sector 2 there. So you're going to need to keep a watchful eye on that. Hope that they kind of sort themselves out a little bit. Shelby, 2 attempts down on Tsunami already in that first sector. Yeah, I mean, Tsunami looking in prime position to take another pole position here in Division 2. Pablos about a tenth down on his teammate, so yeah, very far behind. As we come through now towards turn 11 into 12, and now down this extremely long straight down the strip. 2.5 attempts down on Tsunami as it stands. It's looking pretty poor for the just chuck Jeffyboy into the timer. Yeah, looking poor for everyone else other than Tsunami at the moment, as Shelby will try and do anything through this twisty turn 14 to turn 16 section. And now down the straight and towards the line. What can he extract out of this? It's a fight for P2, really. So Shelby crosses the line. He goes up into P2. 6.5 attempts down, of course. Like I said, Pablos will be next. This is literally fighting for the front row of the grid. You're not even fighting for P1 at this point with that lap. And Pablos, where can he get close relative to his teammate? Comes across the line. He's 3 attempts slower, but goes up into P2. Currently a front row lockout for the 2 Ferraris as Hazy is rounding through. SV's is not working at all today. Don't know what's been happening. Is he's actually finished and gone P8. So not sure why he didn't show up a bit earlier, but hey ho. As Hazy comes across the line, he goes 8 attempts slower as P7 for the Sauber driver. And the only person that can improve on him is Statlev. Jeffyboy, purple in Sector 1, purple in Sector 2, actually has a really huge potential chance here to actually take away the position, as Salu's also on a lap. I do need to add him, to be honest. As Lennon goes up into P3, Statlev next across the line, he goes up into P6, Jeffyboy crosses the line, it's P3 with the fastest first 2 sectors, and it's only good enough for P3. Davey doesn't need to improve on his lap, he is pole position, but yeah, I mean, kind of killed off, to be honest. But Jeffyboy takes the advantage over his teammate in this first, in this hurdle, as Jeffyboy gets pole position here. Jeffyboy, nice. Tsunami, wherever I'm on about. Yeah, I mean, that kind of ruins the potential we had for a really, really, really close quali. And it got completely ruined by Davey, to be honest. Have to remember, Pablos does have a 5-place grid pen, so he will not start P2. So we'll see Jeffyboy on the front row, and he'll have his teammate right behind him, along with the racing balls of Lennon. A great quali session for him. Of course, Atlee crashing out in that last part of qualifying. But yeah, we'll see how this race unfolds with 25 laps ahead of us. I mean, we've got one race left after this. Edward. So why would I move him up? I just can't be bothered. Oh dear. But will we see a variation of strategies? People starting on the hards, people starting on the mediums, people starting on the softs. Why not, guys? We're in Vegas. Let's gamble. I tried to use that like at the start of Q1, and I think it was the bad timing of it, to be honest. Yeah, that's true. It does, to be honest. Lennon needs to go up, I believe, as well, to be honest. Because it's ruining the championship for those other lower down teams who are fighting. Depends how you look at it. I mean, I'm just here to commentate on the beautiful little race that we've hopefully got planned. Hopefully, no dirty moves going on here. Martin, shut up. Right. Hopefully, anytime soon, we will get ready and started. Absolutely knackered. Would love a little nap after this. There we go. We are ready. And we're underway for the formation lap. And I love how weird this start is. The fact that it goes around the corner. And everyone's starting on the mediums apart from Quinn. Well, Quinn's AI, who is starting on the hards. So, yeah, basically everyone's starting on the mediums. Simon don't even care. Simon don't even know what's going on, mate. Like, Simon literally, like, probably hasn't watched any stream in the last month. It's beautiful. The beautiful game. Well, speaking of game, we have got a new game coming out soon on the 3rd of June. And me and Mons have been in good little discussions while not talking about absolute random stuff. We have decided a start date for the next season. So we know when Season 9 will start. And we know when what's going to happen. We know what the players. We know when everything's happening. And yeah, very excited to let you guys know. Of course, after this, we are on to the finale of Season 8 and the final race on F1 25. So, of course, well, on the actual F1 25 part of the game. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, and hopefully we'll have a championship fight on our hands in Division 2. Toes. Mards. Mute toes now. That was horrible. I think what was actually worse was probably me saying mods get toes. Toes, mate. Alright, everyone's coming round to finish the formation lap. I don't think anyone is disqualified, so good lads, because that's a bit stupid, not allowed, but yeah. Let's check. Does this look like an AI? Yeah, 100%, yeah. So yeah, we are watching an AI come round. I can't select first. Be nice to select first. But we get ready now to start the Vegas Grand Prix. With Davey on the outside, Jeffyboy on the inside. We are going to 5 red lights. And we are underway for the Vegas Grand Prix. It's a good start from all of the top 4 at the front. Salu getting a great start further behind in P3. He's going down the inside of Lennon, already up into P3. An important move for the championship. And now Shelby is putting a little bit of pressure on Lennon behind as well. They're side by side as we come out of turn 4 and down the first straight. Salu putting a little bit of pressure on his teammate. Early pressure is very important as you look further behind. Hazy holding up that position. He's fighting the Haas of Statlev. And there's their side by side as well, fighting for, I believe, what is P6. And they're still going. Statlev on the outside of Hazy. Hazy gets the move done in the end. as the other Sauber is slowing down further behind as he tries to rejoin the track safely. As there we go, the McLaren of Salu has done exactly what he needed at the start there. As we looked, Tsunami holding up the two McLarens, but not getting away as quickly as you might have thought after that quali session. As down the straight, Jeffyboy tucks into his slipstream. He's going to have DRS, sorry, no DRS because there's like one mate as we go down the straight. He is pushing and pushing and pushing down the inside. Is he going to make the move stick? They're side by side going towards turn 14. Jeffyboy takes the lead of the race. And Salu will be watching this, feeling like he needs to get past the Ferrari as quick as possible. And Jeffyboy now has a chance to pull away a little bit at a time. As we see now, finally we can see the little gaps. We can see them from whenever now. But Salu putting a bit of pressure on Tsunami early on here. As Lennon keeping up with this group here, not folding away like you would have thought in that Racing Bulls. And now under more pressure as well from Shelby behind. Shelby maybe trying to make a move down the inside towards turn 5. I don't think it's going to be able to be that easy as Lennon is sitting very, very close to the front three. He's not being dropped instantly. The two Hasses doing very well in P8 and P9 from the start. Marley making maybe a potential move on the Williams ahead. The Williams currently P10 and 11. Maybe a bit of contact going into that corner. I'm not sure. I saw a little slide. As they're all very, very close. Everyone in a DRS train, bar, of course, Quinn. Halau's actually left the session as well, I'm pretty sure, because he's all the way down at the back of the field. So, yeah, nice one for both of them. As Jeffyboy still leads us, but now we have DRS down this very long straight, sorry. Everyone has DRS, so it's kind of evens the playing field. The only person that's not even is Jeffyboy at the moment, which Tsunami is very much using his straight line speed advantage in the Ferrari with the DRS as he just backs out, doesn't go for the move in the end into turn 14 and has to wait another lap. Jeffyboy doing enough as it stands to hold on to that lead. However, Davey looking racy, and Salu will probably be hoping that if anything, you know, Davey gets past and backs Jeffyboy into the path of Salu. I don't even know what I'm on about, to be honest. Of course, thinking about the championship there, but I'm sure Davey doesn't really care about the championship because he's not in the fight. So he just cares about getting past and getting another race win under his belt. Got 2 at Monza, so we'll want to try and get another one. Lennon still under pressure from the Red Bull behind. Hazy sticking close enough just to keep DRS. Sitting around 5 tenths behind, sticking in the train. They're all in this train at the moment. Oh, sorry, I forgot to press F2 once. My bad, Monzi. As Tsunami is just sticking around 4 tenths behind, maybe dropping Jeffyboy a little bit. Lennon getting a little bit dropped, and it's giving Shelby a chance to pressurise the Racing Bulls. Of course, his teammate completely out of this race, so it's all about this one lone Red Bull to try and get something. Of course, in real life, these two teams are kind of partners pretty much, you know, as Tsunami takes the lead of the race with DRS. Jeffyboy down to P2, and that is exactly what Salu will be wanting to see, as Shelby behind doesn't get past Lennon this lap, as Tsunami can now prance away as Duffy's up into P14 past Shadow further behind. As we head now on to lap 4 of this race, and so far looks like it's a 3-horse race between the two McLarens and the Ferrari. However, Tyre may be kicking in a little bit here, where the tyres aren't feeling as nice because the two McLarens seem to be dropping a little bit further back. A little fight going on here for P15 between Skunker and Shelby. Finally gets past Lennon. We've not seen it because I was too busy watching this bloody fight for nothing positions. Shelby gets past Lennon, however this has slowed them down and out of the DRS now, so Shelby's probably going to be at risk of being overtaken down the strip. However, Lennon doesn't really seem to be showing much pace. It's further behind. These two still fighting side by side. Look at this. Shadow on the outside for turn 9 on the Alpine. Hits absolutely slams into the wall. And Matthew and Shadow going band for band at the moment with fighting, as Salu is dropping heavily back from his teammate, as it's 9/10 gap at the moment. We'll watch this and see if Lennon can make any move at all. I don't think it's going to be that easy, as actually Hazy is putting pressure on him as he's going to go down the straight. Is he going to go down the inside? But look at Shelby getting, oh my goodness, Lennon there has to back out. Hazy down the inside. He's made the move and up into P5. Had the straight line speed advantage. Shelby there started recharging ERS down the straight as Pablos is now trying to make a move on the inside of Lennon, and that's a good move up into P6, still trying to recover from the 5th-place grid penalty. But yeah, Shelby really got caught there by the Sauber. So much more straight line speed, and he's now up into P5. And we'll put a little bit of pressure on the Red Bull. However, he's got Pablos right behind him already as we head now towards turn 5. And it seems Pablos is going to stick behind this lap, but he'll grow impatient as we are on lap 5 at the moment. Jeffyboy sitting quite closely to Davey this lap. Salu starting to get back involved in the fight. It's only 6% this time as we head round turn 9. And now there's a little bit of the calm before the storm as we head down that straight. As we'll look at Tyre real quick, everyone kind of sitting around 30% at the moment. No one really looking out of sorts. I mean, Tsunami looking great at the moment on 27% compared to the 2 McLarens. But we will see as we down the straight. Jeffyboy surely makes the move here. He's so much closer than you would think. And we'll see. There we go. Down the right-hand side, sure, we'll call it that. Is Salu going to be able to make the move as well? I think he's going to try it. No, he backs out. So only one McLaren gets past this time, and Jeffyboy retakes the lead. Salu will still be wanting to try and take the lead back. However, it seems more like Davey is going to take the lead back again as he sits behind the McLaren just waiting to prance on him and take the move back. Kind of working together a little bit, not really to keep ahead of Salu, more just to drag themselves away from that fight for P4. Tsunami takes a little bit of a different line compared to Jeffy, if that works a little bit. As Skunker just overtaken Van der Samp. Van der Samp maybe struggling a little bit because now he's under pressure from Shadow after just being overtaken by Skunker. Maybe a little bit of contact between the two. As down the straight, looking a little bit slow for the Aston Martin, P14 and P17. I did say their car is an absolute dog round here, so I think we are seeing that in full effect in their fight with Williams. This is not looking good for them, considering the Williams are P10 and 11, so getting 1 point, but they're getting none. So, yeah, every little helps. As down the long strip we go. Tsunami about 5 tenths behind. He's not as close as Jeffyboy was the last time round. However, I'm sure he'll still have a good chance to gain on that gap a little bit. Salu burning behind, trying to get closer to these two as well. As Davey, is he going to make the move down the inside? Yes, he is. Is he going to stick? Jeffyboy lets him have it pretty much. And Tsunami retakes the lead. Jeffyboy maybe just sticking behind again. They're going to trade probably this lap as well. We're seeing them kind of work together a little bit at this early stage. Jeffyboy maybe going for a late move down the outside. No, he holds his line. Just doesn't make any reckless moves. Duffy making insane progress, by the way, up into P11 as he's just overtaken Murphy. So he's now hunting for the points paying positions. It's only 1 point, but still, as I said, every little helps, especially in fights like this between these two McLaren drivers who are still, as I said, fighting for the Drivers' Championship. And Jeffyboy 4 points ahead, and after this will be, what is it? Oh my god, it'll be 7 points ahead. And I believe that Jeffyboy has more wins than Salu. Salu hasn't got a single win, actually, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, Jeffyboy has more wins. So, even if Salu wins the next race and Jeffyboy gets P2, Jeffyboy would win. So, Salu really needs to think about this race and think about trying to make a move soon on his teammate. However, his teammate looks like he's in a better position to kind of win the race at the moment, as he's up behind Tsunami. Again, we've seen this numerous times now. He's going to pull up to the left, and it's an easy move for the McLaren with the use of DRS. Is Salu going to be able to catch at all? No, he's not. He's going to stick behind as Jeffyboy makes maybe a little mistake there. I think locks up a little bit from what I heard. As Hazy has actually dropped outside of the DRS of the cars ahead, so now he's under pressure from Pablos, who is looking racy on the Sauber driver. And I mean, the Sauber has no DRS to play with, so he can't even use help. The two Hasses behind, doing pretty well as well. Under pressure from SV, who is putting a little bit of pressure on Atlee at the moment. Atlee just maybe getting held up by his teammate. Will want Statlev to get a move on and kind of speed up a little bit. As we head down the straight, Atlee coming out of the slipstream. Just, oh, SV hits into the back of Atlee. And there's a little bit of contact. Duffy trying to make a move as well out of that. Ends up losing the place to Murphy as well. So Duffy, at the worst of all of that, as Murphy then kind of runs wide and loses the rear. So Duffy takes back the position, but that all came from SV, just tapping the rear of Atlee as he went down the straight. As I think we're gonna hop onto this fight here for P5, because I believe that Pablos is definitely going to get past. We're probably going to see Tsunami overtake Jeffyboy again. They're just going to trade. We don't need to watch that again. Are we going to see Pablos make a move on the Sauber driver? There you go. Tsunami makes the move, as I said was going to happen. Is Salu close enough to make a move? Pablos is close enough to make a move, though, as he goes up into P5 and now can try and chase down Shelby, who is the next car in the Red Bull. And then it's all about that top three who are fighting ever so closely. As Pablos comes in, very early pit stop for him. No pit lines were crossed. So we are back to this lead by Atlee and SV coming in as well. Have a little look at the tyre wear right now, see what's going on. I mean, they're looking around 50% for the front runners. Hazy on 60%. The Sauber not being as good on the tyre wear. Same with Murphy, actually, to be fair, and Marley. So a couple of drivers at risk of, losing too much time. But these front three kind of sitting nicely. Salu kind of out of this fight, really. 9/10 behind. Hasn't really pressured once. As Halaus gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So he is actually here. He's just slow. Very strange. As Jeffyboy puts more and more pressure on Tsunami. He's actually made the move and overtaken Tsunami before the straight. So Jeffyboy takes the lead again. However, I mean, it seems weird because Tsunami is now going to have the DRS down the straight. He's already picking up a lot of slipstream and a lot of straight line speed. He's already overtaken, gets the DRS, and the move's done before. Yeah, very strange from Jeffyboy to go for that overtake. Kind of led to nothing. As you need to keep an eye on the likes of Pablos, and mainly Pablos, in this fight for P3, because a couple second undercut, I mean, you could be seeing a good chance. Salu stays out, of course, because his teammate comes into the pits. See Tsunami and Jeffyboy both release Salu there as everyone's starting to come into the pits. Hazy stays out on his tyres. Pretty sure he's on he's on 68% at the moment. So he's on very worn tyres, maybe just going as long as he can to make the one-stop work. And we'll see whereabouts Tsunami's going to come out. Skunker goes up past him round the outside. Is Tsunami going to make that move? Yes. Tsunami not going to be affected by traffic. Jeffyboy has lost around a second in that pit stop. So Tsunami really getting an advantage from just pitting and getting lucky with the hold-ups. As Jeffyboy here will want to chase back down that gap, and will want the racing balls of Skunker to get out of the way as quick as possible, just to stop him from losing too much time. It is very aggressive as there's contact as well, and Skunker makes contact with Jeffyboy. Jeffyboy trying to get past as quick as possible. They're going to go side by side. Skunker not making it easy for him at all. The gap is now 1.8 seconds pretty much between the two as Halaus retires. I believe that's in the pits. No, it's on track. So Halaus out of this race in the Mercedes, and it's not caused a safety car, so he's very much lucky, because I'm pretty sure there's no chance he's just randomly crashed. As we fight for what is currently, yeah, Marley overtakes Tsunami. Yeah, Marley on old tyres overtakes Tsunami and now can hold up basically to try and get Jeffyboy. Jeffyboy's now in the DRS. Marley being an absolute human roadblock here, not letting him pass at all. Matthew comes into the pits. Marley still fighting Tsunami, maybe slowing him down as we head towards turn 1. Accepts the position. Salu does come out of the pits. He comes out in P4. He's not going to come out too far behind though. Pablos comes out after that in P5 ahead of Shelby, which was the important fight for P4, sorry, on track. So Pablos, making that earlier pit stop on lap 9, has jumped a little position. As now Tsunami retakes the lead. However, Jeffyboy, thanks to the work of Marley, is now in the DRS and can continue to fight Tsunami for this win. And Salu sticking a little bit further back after that later pit stop as Duffy is making a move. Hazy gets a 3-second time penalty as we see him cut across the track. And I think he's letting Duffy pass, to be honest. No, they are side by side. That angle was horrible as Duffy is putting pressure. Now he's under pressure from Statlev as well. Statlev maybe trying to make a move. Stick, he can't. Salu gets past Marley there. And now Duffy down the straight will want to make a move on Hazy. Hazy with the 3 seconds. And Marley has got past Salu. So we've seen another one as further behind Van der Sar. He's spun round, you see, at the exit of what I believe is turn 9. No, I think it's not turn 9. Nice one, mate. It's turn 10, I believe. He has spun, and yep, that ends his as Jeffyboy putting Tsunami under pressure. Is he going to be able to make the move stick? No, he can't. Tsunami holds onto the lead. Marley finally comes into the pits. 2.6 second gap is the difference between Salu and Jeffyboy. Now down towards turn 4. Davey maybe not looking as strong as he was on that medium stint, and on the hards maybe struggling. Shelby already got within DRS of Pablos and putting pressure, trying to go around the outside. That is not going to work through that corner. It's a good attempt, but you could tell what Pablos was going to do there, and he had full right to even just shove him across, to be honest, if he really wanted to, as Pablos is now kind of holding up the rest of the pack to build a gap for the top 3, really. As there's Salu in no man's land, and there's this massive fight going on for P4 with Pablos at the wheel. Everyone kind of sitting within the same distance from each other, and Pablos is going to need to use all that straight line speed that he has in the Ferrari to gain as much time as he can down the straight to hold on to this position. Jeffyboy slowing down a little bit at the moment. Tsunami pulling away and outside of the DRS zone, so Tsunami showing a little bit more pace this lap. So is Pablos holding off Shelby as we head down towards turn 14, and Pablos holds position, makes a big mistake though, and that's going to give Shelby a huge chance down towards the final corner. He's down the inside and he's burning, and he's past Pablos. That mistake into turn 15. There's contact and he's out. Pablos in the wall. Shelby makes contact and just sails him into the wall, and there's a safety car. That was insane from the Red Bull driver. They just made contact on his rear wheel, and Pablos is out of this race, and the safety car is called. It's going to bunch the field all together. Tsunami, well, he's going to be under real pressure here from the two McLarens now, and well, it's given Duffy a good chance as well for good points, because he's up in P8 already and he's showing great pace. Are we going to see many people pit in? That is a huge incident between the two contenders, really, for, I believe, P3 in overalls. No, P2 in overalls, to be honest. I can't replays. I haven't sorted that. I wish I could. But yeah, that was insane between those two. And yeah, when you just thought that Shelby had it coming, he had the move done, makes contact with with Pablos. It'll be a feature next season for me. Me and Mons are going to have a nice little sort out when we're in the off season. We're going to have a nice little sort out, and I will have replays. But yeah, for now, I don't have it. I'm pretty sure I don't, at least. I don't know how to use this. He hasn't told me. Okay, it doesn't work. I'll just click buttons. Right, so the top two stay out. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of cars stay out. If we look at the little tyre wear right now, we'll see who kind of needs to. Everyone should make it, to be honest. No harm in pitting, of course. But yeah, we now wait. Shelby, of course, will pit because he has damage from that collision with Pablos. That's going to drop him down all the way to P15. Yeah, well, you'd pit for hards, mate. You'd pit for mediums. 10-second tyre penalty for Shadow as he comes in. Jones comes in as well. Marley comes in. Marley pit at the same time. They're all pitting onto mediums. Maybe not the best shout, to be honest, but hey-ho. Clearly not watching the stream where Charlotte says mediums are ours here. Track position are more important, because they are. Yeah. Quinn's AI has gone on to softs. Strange. But, as it stands, we'll have a little quick look at the championship, and Jeffyboy, he will be on, if you know, anytime soon. Anytime soon. There we go. He'll be leading the championship with 191 points. If we have a little look at Salu, we'll have a look. It's probably going to bring up, there you go, 185. So there'll be 6 points between them. As it stands, of course, anything can happen in the next final couple laps, especially with the safety car bunching them all up. Salu maybe jumps him. Look at Alonso just absolutely mogging in the background there for a second. So that was beautiful. As yeah, we just watch as the rest of the field tries to catch back up to the leaders. We're on to lap 15 now. I think we might return racing. Shelby leaves the session. 15 laps. What's 25%, guys? He needs to complete 75%. 25 times by 0.75 is 18 laps. Well, that could be a double DSQ for Red Bull, that could be, if Shelby doesn't join back. He better hope that he asks me for an invite again and joins back. We'll ask Shelby if he wants an invite back to the session after leaving. I mean, he's P12. He's not exactly out of this race. Okay, Shelby has just said it disconnected, so we'll just invite him real quick. Probably did not disconnect. Yes, I saw. As Tsunami leads us around, this is going to be good for everyone's tyre wear who pit a bit earlier. Pablos was one of those that pit earlier. Now he's been absolutely domed. Poor lads. But yeah, that was a big incident, to be honest, that I didn't really expect to see. And it brings out the safety car, so yeah, I feel like we haven't had a safety car in a while. Don't know how right I am there, to be honest. Yep. As we're still waiting on the AI and Van der Sant to join up the back of the grid. I think we'll be going next lap, so we restart racing on lap 16. Shelby's joined back, so There we go. We've got Shelby back in the lobby. I don't have to DSQ 2 Red Bulls. And yeah, there's not really much I can say, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure what to do. Pablos sadly leaves, of course, after that incident. That has maybe changed the race. I mean, the top 3 were kind of set and buried, or set and buried? Yeah, that's probably not it. Yeah, they were kind of sealed, really, the top 3. It's more that fight for the rest of the kind of points playing positions that, you know, you've got. Oh, first safety on Monaco. That's crazy, to be fair. But yeah, Lennon, sorry, up into P4, SV and P5, Atlee P6, Hazy P7. You know, you've got a lot of fodder teams in this top 10 right now, to be honest. You've got absolute randoms, more random teams, of course, with Quinn, of course, out of it, Shelby down the order, Duffy down the order because of the quali ban. So yeah, you've got a lot of the faster drivers kind of lower down in the order, and it really does free up for some very important points, especially in that fight for P5, considering that Van der Sant is P17, Aiden Jones is P14, and SV and Murphy are both in the points right now. SV especially getting P5. So yeah, if I was the Aston Martin CEO right now, I would not be happy. But we'll see as the safety car is ending. Ooh, damn it! I've got a tyre like on my leg, and it got like attached around my leg, and I couldn't get it off. That probably makes absolutely 0 sense, but it does promise. It's now Tsunami backs up the grid to get ready. Needs to get a good jump on Jeffyboy. Needs to get a good jump on both of the McLarens. He's already gone. So we are racing again in Vegas. And who's going to get it? Salu has a little bit of lag back there. Lennon's going to try and get him. And yeah, that's really unfortunate actually for him. Duffy down the inside of Hazy early on. Needs to get the overtake quickly if he wants to make any moves. Stick, Hazy not going out without a fight. This is his P7 and he will hold on to it. He stays in P7. Atlee ahead will still want to hold on to his position. The two Alpines going side by side. Duffy down the inside of the Sauber almost makes contact, but yep, the Sauber holds on to P7. Little snap there from the Mercedes. Shelby already up into P10 in the Red Bull on those mediums. Now making a move as well down the inside of Statlev. Gets up into P10. 9, sorry. And is now going to try and put some pressure on the rest of the fields. As Shelby now already past Duffy. You didn't even see that happen behind the cars. As Duffy trying to take a wider line. It's not going to work, is it? Down the inside into turn 11. He's going to try it. As Duffy down the inside. Is there contact between the two rival teams? No, there's not. But that very much did slow Duffy now. As now he's got Statlev under pressure. As further up the field, Jeffyboy putting a little bit of pressure on Tsunami. And actually not just a little bit of pressure. He has overtaken him for the race lead. So Jeffyboy again takes the race lead back from Davey. And again, we're going to be, I mean, we are trying to see Salu in this fight, but he just, every time, he's not there. As Statlev is under pressure from Marley behind. Marley down the inside now on those medium tyres up into P10. The Aston Martin of Jones trying to make a move as well on Matthew. He's down the inside as carnage going on. Down the inside is Murphy. As Statlev's holding it round into turn 3, and Jones very much up behind this little gaggle of cars here, all fighting for the final points playing position, as Shelby up into P7 showing great pace on those tyres. Murphy, look at this fight going on here as Murphy's now lost the position to Jones. Jones up into P12 showing really good pace on those medium tyres. Those medium tyres at the moment showing insane pace for everyone on them. Matthew and Statlev going, Statlev's Shadow going side by side for a second there as Quinn is getting lapped, I think. No, that was Shelby. Nice one, mate. Shelby makes a move on Atlee and is now up into P6, and he can start to try and chase down Lennon and SV, who are fighting it out for P4. And Well, there's a big gap up ahead, 8 tenths, so it gives maybe a little bit of breathing room for Jeffy. But Tsunami will still want to try and make a move. I don't think he's going to make a move this time around. But down further at the end of the field, you can see Murphy trying to line up a move. As oh my God, is that Marley trying to make a move on Duffy? As Duffy gets a 3-second, maybe forced off the track there. But Marley then makes contact with a Statlev, who almost spins across the track. Lucky not to cause a big crash, as Marley is now tucked into the slipstream of Statlev. Is he going to go down the inside in towards turn 1? No. Statlev holds his position and stays in P10, fighting it out for that 1 point. And yep, at the moment, oh, massive shunt there further behind. I think that was from what's that, Shadow hitting the side of the wall. As there's another little bit of contact there, this time from a Williams. So a couple drivers starting to push the limits. Shelby putting pressure on this top 5 now. SV under immense amount of pressure. Murphy making a move on Shadow further behind. And here is Shelby on SV. Is he going to try and make a late move down the inside into turn, what I believe is 12? 100%. Yeah, it is turn 12. But he's now pushing SV round. The medium's looking insane at the moment. Looking like the faster tyre. Up ahead, Tsunami's probably going to take the lead away from Jeffyboy. I'm not 100% sure on that though. I'm not really sure on this move either. As we watch Shelby sit in behind SV. He's not even tried to make a move this time. And SV holds on to that P5 position. And every lap that he does is another lap that Shelby can't be using those medium tyres to catch up to that top 3. Is he going to go for a move down towards the final corner? Takes the inside line. It's going to be difficult to hold it through turn 1, and he's done it in towards turn 1, and he's up into P5, and he can now start to hunt down Lennon as well, who is looking okay, but is still in the DRS of the top 3 though, which is fair enough to him. But yeah, Jeffyboy holding on to this lead. We're on lap 20 out of 25. And yeah, overtakes everywhere as Jones is going side by side with Marley. Jones forces Marley into the wall when there's contact with the wall. Contact with the Haas as well, and almost contact with the Williams of Murphy. Murphy now trying around the outside it, but Marley is going to defend well and hold on to P12. Jones maybe a little bit reckless there, pushing Marley into the wall on the outside. But, oh my God, Willie! Oh my God! Worldwide! My absolute gem! No way! Oh, I love him. I love him, guys. We got to show Willie some love. That's insane. How have you stumbled upon this? As Salu putting pressure on Tsunami ahead. Tsunami putting pressure on Jeffyboy. Salu down the outside is contact between the two, and Tsunami makes contact with Salu. Salu up into P2. And that is important for the championship. However, Tsunami will definitely feel a little bit robbed there. And will definitely report that. As Salu now up into P2. His teammate still leads the race. And I think Tsunami was really putting the pressure on Jeffyboy. And yeah, Salu maybe doing going a bit too early to overtake. He's now about 8 tenths behind his teammate. He needs to catch up. He's currently what is 11 points behind going into the final round of the season if they stay like this. And also, if he doesn't get a penalty for that, that is definitely a 5-second, I think, because it definitely seemed a little bit reckless from Salu. He did then make the move on Tsunami. Tsunami will not feel very great about that, and I'm sure his TP won't either. He reports everything. As we head round, Shelby showing good pace against Lennon in the Racing Bulls. Lennon not looking the fastest at the moment, but not also looking the slowest. He's still within the DRS of Tsunami, so he's just kind of being dragged along by the Ferrari at the moment, and it's causing to be a bit of a hassle as Tsunami down the straight on Salu. He's going to make the move up into P2. And I mean, as long as Salu doesn't go for a move here again, Shouldn't see any bad moves, as Jeffyboy will want to kind of try and keep this. Salu losing a lot of time there, down a second to Tsunami after just being overtaken. Tsunami already 4 attempts behind, so really showing a lot of pace for, in the Ferrari, as we have seen over the past couple races since he joined the Scuderia. But Jeffyboy will be trying to just keep ahead, gain as many points as he can on his teammate, and of course 5 seconds would affect him. 5 seconds would affect Salu heavily right now, and it won't, I believe, won't put him in a championship winning position. Well, put Jeffyboy in one, but will really affect the chance for Salu as we go into the final round. Shelby putting more and more pressure on Lennon. As we have a little look at the Tyre right now, and it's all looking quite even between the lot, kind of around 40 to 30% between the whole field. So it's looking pretty even tyre wise, as we've got 4 laps remaining of the race to go. Lennon, sorry, now outside DRS, so he's going to be under pressure from Shelby. Shelby has DRS, has the straight line speed in the Red Bull. Is he going to burn as much as he can down the straight? He's got the effect of DRS. Tsunami retakes the lead of the race as we head down towards turn 14. Is Shelby going to be able to make a move? No, he doesn't, so good thing we did kind of cut away from that, to be honest. As Statlev makes a move on Aiden further behind for P10. And Salu, I don't know what his plan is now, because we have we now have 3 laps remaining. So yep, is that Hazy trying to go for a little move on SV here, trying to get the switch back as further ahead. Shelby trying to do the same round the outside of Lennon. Is Lennon going to give him the space? Yes, he does. Lennon is fighting this against Shelby. Shelby in the Red Bull, and he makes the move stick, and Hazy's going to put pressure on SV behind. This is for P6. Hazy around the outside, just gets forced out, and that is going to hold P7. Shelby up into P4 now, can maybe put a little bit of pressure and be a real nuisance to the top 3 if he can just hang on to these medium tyres as the session gets ever closer to the end. I think they're okay tyre wear at the moment, but of course they're going to wear a little bit quicker than these hard tyres around him. Lennon getting fired from Aston Martin, and now he's in P5. Crazy work. As head down the straight, Shelby sitting in the DRS of the top 3, and currently not much looking like it's happening. It's Hazy going for a little move as he side by side with SV going towards turn 14. There's a yellow flag for Shadow. Shadow's had an incident further behind as Hazy's made the move and he's up into P6. Has a 3 second, which I believe people really do want to appeal. As we head round towards the penultimate lap of the race, as Tsunami still holds on to that lead. Salu will be hoping and praying that, 1, he doesn't get a penalty, and 2, he then also, I mean, if it could finish like this, yeah, I think he'd be happy, to be honest, as Shadow further behind is having a big mistake. Not 100% sure what's, he's got a puncture, that's why. Okay, well, good thing we looked at him. Just calling him slow. As Tsunami holding off at the moment the 2 McLarens. He's got 2 more laps and 2 more big overtaking opportunities that he just needs to fend off down that strip twice, and he will have the win. Maybe a tactical, you know, let Jeffyboy pass on this lap so that you can get him next lap. However, that puts him under pressure from being overtaken from Salu. However, Salu doesn't really seem like he's putting pressure on anybody at the moment. And maybe under pressure from Shelby instead, to be honest. But yeah, down the straight we go. 7/10 gap at the moment. This is looking okay for Tsunami so far. Jeffyboy doesn't make a move into turn 14, so that is advantage to Tsunami after this lap. However, he's got 1 more lap to try and fend off as further behind, Statlev's fighting with Marley. That's for P11. Look at this gap that goes from P10 all the way down to P14, all fighting for the final points paying position. As the gap's kind of just shrunk a little, or gained a little bit, but we're going to fly back over to this fight for the lead of the race. Tsunami still leading 4.5 tenths to Jeffyboy behind. Salu not looking like he's pressurising at all. Understands as well that he will definitely probably get a penalty for that Davey incident, as SV drops heavy behind here down to P8. I'm not sure what's happened there. He's just suddenly... Okay, I think he's just glitched. Never mind, he's just gone behind Duffy. Okay, well, that's very weird. As we head round towards down round turn 9, and now Jeffyboy comes to the side a little bit, maybe just try and cool himself down, as he's got 7 tenths behind Tsunami, not putting any pressure, not trying at all to gain onto that gap. However, a great braking zone into turn 12, and he's setting himself up really well for the final straight. This is the best chance he has to try and overtake. He has one more chance after that, through into the final corner, but that is flat out, and it is going to be all he can do. So Jeffyboy is down 4 tenths at the moment, sitting in the slipstream with the DRS. Is he going to make the move stick? No, he can't. Can't get close enough to Tsunami. He has one more chance. Salu completely misses it. Lennon is P5, fighting Hazy as well. But it's going to be Tsunami who is going to come round the final corner, and he wins for the Scuderia. He's going to come across the line. Tsunami wins here in Vegas. It's the Jeffyboy gets P2 and Salu P3 on track. Jeffyboy extending his championship advantage. P4 for Shelby, P5 for Lennon, and it could possibly end up being even a P3 if pens go his way. SV comes home, P6, important point for Williams in the Constructors. P7 for Haas, P8 and P9 for Haas, sorry. P7 for Hazy is what I meant. And Aidan Jones picks up 1 point for Aston Martin in their fight against Williams. And Murphy down to P11, Marley P12, Matthew P13, Skunker P14, Josh Duffy having an incident later on that I didn't see. He's down in P15, and then P16 in the end will be Shadow, because, yeah. We'll see, Killian. We'll see if you deserve a contract renewal. So you watch Shadow. Is he going to get the fastest lap here? That'd be very entertaining. Let's see. Shadow, is he going to come over and get fastest lap for the Sauber team? This is all we care about for P17. He crosses the line. He doesn't even get fastest lap, I'm pretty sure. That was all for nothing. I didn't say termination, by the way. I said you're going to a slower team. As Davey celebrates another win. And if you ignore the race that he had round Texas, then it's it's been insane form since joining Ferrari. Some would say championship winning form, but sadly the two McLarens just have the advantage. So there we go. Davey gets the fastest lap, pole position, and the win as well. So he'll get a lot of money for the Ferrari team. Not that they really care about it. There's the DNFs we saw. Quinn will be a DSQ. Let's get the race director. Oh, that's pretty short, to be fair. Boom. Look at that. Beautiful. Yeah. I don't know why Mons always does that, but yeah. There we are. One more race. One more chance for Salu to try and gain up to Jeffy. So there we go. One more race to go in this Season 8, which seems to have flown by, to be honest. Seems like only yesterday that we were talking about it. But yeah. Oh, I see. That's a good idea, actually. But there we are. I have no intention to do any kind of anything, to be honest. Yeah, with no interviews. We'll just finish it here. Right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching along. And, of course, join us tomorrow for Division 1. And then we will be on the final round of the season. The final round on F125 as the base game. And then that'll be it. We'll be on to the new era of Formula 1. But, there we go. As always, it's been a pleasure. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.